Welcome back. We now cross over to our international correspondent, David Kibuuka, who's in Burkina Faso. Dave, what's happening there?
The people have kicked out the president who has been in power for 26 years. He wanted to change the constitution so he could rule for 30 years, but the people said, no, we could take 27 but not 30, Baba. Old Mutual called the president and said, hello, I would like to interest you in a retirement policy. And he said, I'm an African dictator. I am never going to retire. But what policies do you offer in terms of hiding all of the money that I have stolen?
So he's been president for 27 years?
Yes. So we must not take democracy for granted in South Africa because most African dictators have been in power forever. We need to protect democracy. That is why I love Steve Hofmeyr.
What does Steve Hofmeyr have to do with democracy, Dave?
A lot. Firstly, he shows that South Africa has freedom of speech. In fact, Malume Steve helps the very ANC that he hates because they can say, if we were against freedom of speech and media freedom, would we let a person like this speak? I just hope that Steve did not hear that, because if he heard that he was helping our black government, he would kill himself.
He would drink Dettol, Dave. He would drink Dettol.
Yes. And Steve makes us remember that racism is not dead. He has so much support, which shows that there are plenty of people who still think like him. But they won't come out, because they are too afraid to lose their buckies. Steve Hofmeyr reminds us that racism is alive.
He reminds us that we have a lot of work to do to create a truly non-racial South Africa, Dave.
The only thing that I would say to Steve is, Steve, racism is stressful. If you keep hating black people like this, you're going to give yourself a heart attack. And where is Steve meeting all these black people anyway? The way he complains about black people, you would think that he lives in Kwamashu Hostel in the township.
Dave, he must move to Orania, I think, to find some peace.
You would think that he takes taxis to work, and when he says, short left driver, the taxi driver does not stop, so Steve goes, cake, you see, these bloody backs don't even know what a short left is. I said, bloody short left, you bloody taxi driver. In the apartheid time, people knew what a short left was.
He needs to do yoga.
Steve needs to ask other white people for handy tips on how to survive in a black world. Maybe they'll say, use earplugs because these people speak so loud. Or never lend them money because they won't pay you back. Then you'll be forced to call them the K-word and then you will lose your job.
Dave, I need earplugs to deal with your shouting. And those hands of yours, they are scaring us, Dave. They are scaring us.
But I must say that Steve is very African when it comes to baby mamas. If Steve had to pay damages for all his baby mamas, there would be no cows left in the world, Lloyd. The cow would be like the rhino.
Okay, are you saying baby mamas are a black thing there?
Thank you, Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was David Kibuuka in Burkina Faso.
News that moves. ENCA.com.